Good morning. Yeah, it's Monday. Today I'm going to have to share what I read this morning. It's a psalm that I read often. I call it my psalm of success. Usually it's been accompanied with Proverbs chapter 16 verse 1. Today we'll just go quickly through the psalm and tell you how I use it usually as my success psalm. By the way, this psalm has a messianic implication. The messianic implication of this psalm is to the fact that it is one of the psalms that's going to be read later in the final days by the Jews as I look forward to the Redemptor. It was a psalm that was being done by the sons of Korah. You remember the son of Korah? The man who was very, very disrespectful to Moses, and then he got carried and swallowed by the earth. According to the book of Numbers, Korah got spared. Korah's children got spared. So I guess it was him and his everything that belongs to him that actually was being swallowed by the earth. So it's a psalm. But one thing about the Bible is that the Bible is a two-edged sword. You find a lot of scriptures that could be used and then help you in every other situation. So without trying to abuse the messianic purpose of these very scriptures, that's not my intention. But I just wanted to prove to let you know that it has messianic implication. And then also between the A and the Z of the fulfillment of the messianic purposes, we could use it also for the sake of the name of God. To this, as in the last days when the Jewish community will begin to realize how they have forsaken the Messiah, then will they rise up and start calling upon him and start praying for him and start asking for redemption. But now, the one I'm going to use that I usually use when I'm going for, as my prayer for success. I've used it many times at interviews level, and when I have things, decisions I need to make, when I need, and it has always worked. Is we have heard with our ears, oh God, our fathers have told us the deeds you did in the days of old. There are testimonies that rely upon for us to trust God. There are evidences that we have heard and seen for us to believe in God. I think those are usually steps for us to go back anytime we are in a dilemma. Always go back to the testimonies and to the evidences of the past. One place where we can find those evidences and testimonies, number one, is in the Bible. The stories that happen in the Bible, what God has done in the past, he can do it again. The songwriter was right. It is no secret what God can do. What is done for others, he will do for you. Trust God is not partial. Trust God hasn't changed in his deed. Now you drove out the nation with your hand, but then you planted, you afflicted the people, and you cast them out. What? You drove out the nation with your hand. In other words, God does remove and set people, and opportunities and privileges that we have are not our strength. It is it's the hand of God. We always need that in our mind, that it is not the builder that builds, it is God that builds. It's not the security person that is watching, it's God that is watching. God is the one who sets up people. So when you go in that mindset, you know that you will be God-driven, not self-led. You will not cry for what you don't get and what you get. You drove out the nation with your hand. Who is the hand of God? He stretched out his hand to save us through his Redeemer. He planted, you afflicted the people and cast them out, for they did not gain possession of the land by their own sword. A sword is the tool you use It's not, some people sometimes want to have everything in place before they can start anything. In life, perfection does not always work. Ye did not get the land by their sword, nor did their own arm save them. An arm is the personal ability. So it's not your skills, it's not your personal abilities, it's not anything that you have. So when we go in life with this mindset that is not about us, it's about God that can help us. And today I set up and I am more driven with this very concept that God is faithful. What He has done in the past, He is able to do in the current. Every promises in the Bible belongs to me, but that also means that I need to rely on the hand of God is leading, and I don't trust on my own ability, my own senses, my own tools, my own capacities. These are very, very there. It doesn't negate the fact that you need your tools and your skills. It does say that you use them. In other words, do what you can do with what you have, but don't rely on them as the sole source of your breakthroughs and miracles. We are often told today to be self-driven, but the truth is that self-driven always make us take God out of the drive. It's God-driven, and we use our skills, our tools to do what God requires us to do in the drive. Because the Bible says, continue, it says in verse 3, nor did your own arm save them, but it was your right hand, the right hand and your arm, the arm of God, the hand of God, the ability of God, and the messianic ability of God, the hand of God, which is not shortened to deliver, and the light of your countenance is favor shine upon us. Without that, we can go to a place and come out gloomy. No one sees us as being the perfect match. It's when God shines His face on us, when God puts the beam light on us, then we are qualified for the next breakthrough or for the opportunities that life is presenting to us. Without that, we are disfavored. So it's the favor of God. I want, when we go with this mindset, with this attitude, with this belief, with the reliance, it will make us not to force God to do things. Because of God, you must do this. I heard the story of a woman, a lady who had to pray and said, God, if you don't give me a husband by XYZ period, give me a timeline, then I will sort myself out. You can't threaten God. Who loses? Because you favored them. You are my king and my God. Command victories for Jacob. Why command victories for Jacob? Why not command victory for Israel? It's because it's also pointing to the fact that as Jacob, he wasn't qualified for divine merit. He was a deceiver. Meaning that here's my weakness. That's what we're telling God here. This is my weakness. But I pray that you command victory, because if you command victory, irrespective of what power, what strength, what thing is there, we can have it. Command victory for Jacob. That's that though we will, through you, we will push down the enemy. Through your name, we will trample those who rise up against you. Through who? God. Through His name. What does it mean to have the name of God? It's this mentality we need to have always. For everything that we do is not about us. It's not about making a name for ourselves. Because those who were making a name for themselves in the Garden of Eden got shut out of the Garden of Eden. Through you and through your name. The name of Yahweh is a strong tower. The righteous runs into this, where you could rely on your righteousness, living a righteous purpose. That's through His name, for the sake of God. Or that means that at that point in time we are making a commitment that when we get this opportunity, all glory must be back to Yahweh. For I will not trust in Baal, nor shall my sword save me. But you have saved us from our enemies and put to shame those who hated us. In God we will boast all day long and praise your name forever. Selah. That's clear. The boss is not us. We will not trust in our bow nor our arrows. The skills, the tools that we have, the competitive advantage that we have, the experience that we have. Most, and I will say it, of all the roles and the positions that I've had as I'm growing through and progressing, I did not exert influence. Most of them, for the current one I have, I knew no one. Usually people say, oh, you need to know someone somewhere. I knew no one. I went for an interview on the basis of the merit of the favor of God, which made my presentation acceptable. I got it. I got one that I had a late information even one certain time, and it was supposed to be a 45 minutes test or so, a 1 hour 30 minutes test. I got there late due to traffic. I wrote just a few things I could write. I wasn't even sure that I'll go through, but the favor of God made me move through to the interview stage, to the first and second interview stage. So it's not us. That mindset needs to also help us. Most often we are in a society living where it's all about self, it's all about me, and we want to bend the hand of God. No, it doesn't work that way. Another verse that I usually put in when I add this one would be Proverbs chapter 16 verse 1. The preparation of the heart is of mankind, but the answer of the tongue is of Yahweh. Do have a very good day. I pray that you go today understanding, living a life of winning, but not relying on your skills and abilities, because this would fail us. God bless you.